It's Thursday, the 16th of January, 2025. Welcome to the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
Sean, 5 stories, 5 minutes. Let's go. Story number 1, household spending fell nearly 2% in December after a surge the previous month, thanks to Black Friday sales, adding to calls for a rate cut next month.
The CommBank Household Spending Insights Index shows a drop in spending on household goods, stuff like clothing. Consumers brought forward their spending to take advantage of sales activity in November, those Black Friday sales, but then it fell off in December. There were relatively large declines in spending on hospitality, food and beverage, and recreation. Commonwealth Bank takes information from 7 million customers, puts it all together, and comes up with this information. It's about 30% of all consumer transaction. Huge amount of data. Clearly, consumer spending has slowed. Consumer spending is the biggest part of economic growth. We've been very reliant on government spending. That's state and feds. We need to get off that and start worrying more about the consumer. Now, the Reserve Bank the board meets on February 17, 18. Between now and then, you'll have December quarter inflation figures, very important. We'll also get a bit of a sense of what Donald Trump and his administration will be like, whether he's going to hike tariffs immediately, whether he's going to kick out non-citizens, etc. Stephen Halmarick, the chief economist at Commonwealth Bank, reckons that there should be a rate cut next month and for this year in total. It doesn't quite mean he's predicting it. He just reckons there should be one.
Okay, moving on to story number 2 now, and relations between Canberra and Moscow are at a low ebb, Sean, after reports that 32-year-old former Melbourne grammar student Oscar Jenkins, who had been caught by Russia while fighting for Ukraine, had been executed.
Foreign Minister Penny Wong said the government is making urgent inquiries into Mr. Jenkins' well-being. She's asked Russia and Ukraine for information. She also said all options are on the table if he has been executed. The Russian ambassador to Australia, Alexei Pavlovsky, was called in yesterday. Now, 7 News reported that Mr. Jenkins had been executed and his body found. He was captured while fighting alongside Ukrainians. Opposition leader Peter Dutton supported the government. He said that the envoys should be sent packing if it's true that Mr. Jenkins has been executed. It's the worst point in Canberra-Moscow relations since the downing of MH17 back in 2014.
Sean, story number 3, Macquarie Asset Management, which is part of the Macquarie Group, will invest up to $8 billion in US-owned data centres.
That's right. So that's about $5 billion US. Step 1, it's investing $900 million in a company called Applied Digital, and particularly its data centre campus in North Dakota. Step 2, up to another $4.1 billion US dollars in future Applied Digital data centres. In return, Macquarie Asset Management will get a 15% stake in Applied Digital's high-performance computing business. Macquarie Asset Management and Macquarie has a bit of a history in data centre. It owned, along with the pension fund, it owned 88% of AirTrunk that was sold last year to private equity for $23.5 billion. Data centres are very, very popular at the moment. You know, when you think groups like Amazon and Google are desperate for more processing power, space to house growing AI platforms and cloud computing operations, then that means data centres are in high demand, and Macquarie Asset Management is buying into the space again.
All right, story number 4. This is one out of the US, where the Securities and Exchange Commission has sued Elon Musk over allegations that he misled shareholders about his Twitter stock purchases. It is escalating the agency's long simmering feud with the billionaire.
The lawsuit claims that Mr. Musk delayed disclosure of his ownership, allowing him to save more than $150 million on buying Twitter's stock. According to a report in the Wall Street Journal, the late disclosure hurt investors who sold at artificially low prices because they didn't know Mr. Musk's plans, the SEC says. The lawsuit comes after a long investigation that Musk sometimes delayed by not appearing for testimony. He's very closely aligned with President-elect Donald Trump. There's speculation around now that given that the SEC will get a new commissioner after Donald Trump takes power, he'll just ask that person to withdraw the case, a very big test for the independence of the Securities and Exchange Commission.
All right, last one. Story number 5. A new global report says too many people are being diagnosed as obese, pushing demand for weight loss drugs, when in reality, the definitions probably need to be more nuanced.
Doctors should consider the overall health of patients with excess fat rather than just measuring their body mass index, BMI, according to a report by 50 medical experts published in the Lancet Diabetes and Endocrinology Journal. More than 1 billion people are estimated to be living with obesity worldwide, and prescription weight loss drugs are in high demand as a result. But those with chronic illnesses caused by their weight should be diagnosed as clinically obese. Those with no health problems should be preclinical obese, according to these experts. Currently, in many countries, obesity is defined as having a BMI, body mass index, over 30. Now, that's a measurement that estimates body fat based on height and weight. Access to weight loss drugs such as Wegovy, Ozempic, are often restricted to patients in that category.
All right, there we go. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you very much, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It is Thursday, the 16th of January, 2025. Remember to hit follow on the podcast. And if 5 minutes just isn't long enough for you, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.